Hi. Wait a minute. Okay. Ta-da! Let's start. Oops. Hi there again. Today is just gonna be like a really chill, let's sit down, and I'm really out of breath. Oh my gosh. Today is just gonna be really one of those days chill times. RIP grammar, but you know what I mean. So I wrote it down in my laptop, so I know what I'm gonna talk about. I don't know if you can tell from the beautiful title. We're gonna talk about things I wish I knew before I moved to Holland. I remember I was going back home from the bus or something. Somehow that night, I just thought about like all the funny things that kind of happened. Not all funny, some of them are frustrating, but just things that happened to me in Holland that I wish I knew, wish someone told me. So basically, this is gonna be kind of a guideline for all those people who are about to go to Holland or are currently in Holland and you're still new, you know, because I've been in Holland for 2 years now and I love it so far. Gosh, hold on. Water break. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about multiple aspects. So we're gonna talk about transportation, which is gonna be bicycle, bus, and train, because I cannot drive a car. Well, I can. I have a license. It's just I don't trust myself to drive in Holland because there's so many like rules and I'm genuinely scared to get a fine. So cars and motorcycles are just not in this video. It's like public transportation. Okay, and then we're also going to talk about the people so you kind of know a little bit what you're going to expect. And we're also going to talk about just the daily, like the basic things you should know about the city, just Holland in general. Where I come from, Indonesia, we don't really use bicycles, we just use cars or Grab or Uber. But here, everyone uses bicycle. Most of the people I know, like they've been biking almost their whole life. Like they would literally bike to school, which is like 30 minutes sometimes or more. So basically almost everyone here in Holland has a bicycle. So if you're about to move here, you're gonna study here, my first recommendation for you is to buy a bike. But here's the catch. Do not buy a bike that is too expensive. Ow! But don't buy a bike that's too expensive. Why? Because where I live, I'm in Zwolle, so it's like a really like homey and just nice place to live in. I love it here. But I remember my dad telling me before I went to Holland, and also just lots of people in general, like if you go to the big cities and you don't have a proper good lock, like people might steal your bike and then sell it to the bike seller. So the first thing I would recommend is to probably purchase a secondhand bike. I don't want to say that you have to purchase the ugliest bike in the world. No, but like if you want to have like electric bikes or like those just really fancy bikes, obviously you can, but make sure that you have a house where you can put your bike inside the house, like in the thingy, the garage or something, or you have like a really good lock, because it's kind of easy to break the locks, but at least that's my dad said. Sorry dad for exposing you. Guys, I gotta come back. I feel fucking oily. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. What was I talking about? I think I was talking about bikes, right? Yeah, I think so. I remembered what I was talking about. So yeah, that's like the first thing. It's like buy a bike that like works best for you. Like it doesn't have to be the prettiest bike in the whole. I don't know even a person who would like look at your bike like, ew, it's bad. No, like I literally see people here like biking around with like rainbow bicycles. Very handy to have a bike here in Holland because it's kind of flat, you know. We don't really have a mountain like that. The highest mountain is in Limburg, and I think that's also not a mountain, it's a hill. I remember my dad telling me like when I moved here to Holland, he like told me like, I swear I can't stop moving. ADHD at its finest. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, lamps, lights. So the first thing my dad told me when I went to Holland was buy yourself lights, because in the nighttime you're gonna need like, I think I have it here. I'll show you. Like something like this, like a front light and a back light too. Currently I bought it because my one ran out of battery and it needs help. So I just am too lazy to put it on. like stuff in it. Anyways, buy yourself some lights for your bicycle. You're gonna get a fine if a police catches you not putting on your lights. Just like a heads up, Holland is really disciplined about all these things. So once they tell you that you're gonna get a fine, I'm serious, you could get a fine for like 50 euros. That's why like whenever my lights are off and it doesn't work, I would never really go to the big roads. I would just like go sneakily in the like small roads because police can't find me there. So yeah. Second rule, put lights on your bicycle. Why are my fingers bent like that? Okay, anyway. Third, don't look at them. They're pretty. Basketball fucked me up, man. Look at that. Okay, anyways. The third thing you have to do is don't play phone on your bicycle. This is like a tendency that we used to do. We're just like casually biking and then we're like, and then you crash. Honestly, it's really not because I'm trying to be like, Mom. It's because if a police sees you playing your phone on a bike, you're gonna get a fine again, which is also roughly 50 euros, sometimes even more. And if you do want to play your phone on the bike, be really sneaky that nobody sees you, because sometimes police, they just come everywhere. Like, they have them everywhere here. They're like sneaky, you know? They don't have those like lights on 24/7 unless an issue is actually happening. So sometimes they just sound like a car and then you're like, oh shit. So like I said, you're gonna use your bike almost every single day, literally. Like, it brings you everywhere and life just gets easier with a bicycle. So have a bike bag. It looks like this, and honestly, I put everything. I put my laptop there, I put my bag there, and it makes it less like stressful, you know? And also if you have groceries, you can just put it in there, because carrying your groceries while biking is extremely uncomfortable and heavy. That's not something I would recommend you to do, because I also did that. Not nice. So try to buy yourself a bike bag, because it's really, or some people like Celeste, she has a basket which is in front of her bike. That also works, but I like it more on the side because then I have more space for more things. So yeah. Okay, that was a lot of information, ladies and gentlemen. Are you okay now? Are you still here? I hope. Whew. Okay, moving on to the second transportation, bus. Okay, first thing before we talk about buses, try to download 9292 or ns.nl. It's like an app where you can, it's basically all transportations like metro, buses, trains. You can kind of like just mention over there like where do you want to go. You can find your destination and then you can see what time are the options to go there. So I love it. Like, I use it 24/7, and honestly if you don't have it, it'll be a lot harder. So just try to download the NS or N9292 app because it's amazing. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is download that app so you can tell when your train's gonna come, when your bus is gonna come. Second thing, just show it to you in a way so it's easier. Okay, so basically in like Holland, when you're waiting for buses, you have a booth. It looks like that. And usually people sit there. You have usually like a little like box which mentions your bus is gonna come in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 30 minutes. But if it says it's gonna come in 5 minutes, like walk out of the booth and like really be on the alley where the bus is gonna pass. You get what I mean? Because if you sit in the booth when the bus passes, it's just gonna pass. It's not gonna, the thing is, these buses, they only stop when they know you actually wanna go in it. So like when the bus comes, like sit there and give eye contact or like do like this or like, well, I never really see people like doing this. That's just mostly me. I don't even know why I do that. But just like if they pass, just kind of really stand in the edge there and like look at them so they know that you want to go in the bus. It sucks to wait for a bus for like 30 minutes and then they just pass you. So remember to always walk out of the booth and like when it's like 5 minutes in advance, just wait there. Unless there's lots of people in that booth waiting, then it doesn't really matter because the bus knows anyway. But if you're the only person in that area and they don't know, they're just gonna. It's super important because once again, it happened to me and it sucks. Okay, so if you're in the bus, I think most countries know that this is what you have to do, but Usually where I come from, we just go to the dude like, hey, I want to go out, and we just go out. But here in Holland, you have to press the red button. It looks like this. So in every corner where you're gonna sit, there's gonna be a pole where there's gonna be like a press button in it, or like beside it. It's gonna sound loud, but don't be scared. But yeah, you have to press the button or not they keep going, because they don't stop in every stop, because if you don't need to go out, why would they stop? It's kind of like, people here really care about time. They're really good with their time. So if you do want to go out in the next location, press the button, but in advance. Don't like press it when you're there. Like press it when the bus mentions we're gonna stop in blah blah blah, and then you press the button, and then eventually you'll go out. So don't worry. So that one was a lot faster than the train, well, bike one, sorry. Now moving on to train. Okay, first thing you guys need to know about trains, they're really on time. Like really fucking on time. They don't wait for you. If you're running for your life at the time that they're supposed to leave, they're still just gonna leave. Even when the door closes and you're literally pressing the button for it to open, it's gonna leave when it's supposed to leave, unless they have a delay, obviously. But basically, always try to be at least, well, for me, I always do at least 10 minutes in advance, because you never know, what if they have like, you know, a change of like location or something, and you just read it and you're like, oh shit. So always try to be, at least in my advice, go 10 minutes before your time is supposed to go. So just know that Dutch people are very good with their time, and their trains are also really good at with their time. So be on time. Always be 10 minutes in advance. Sometimes I even do 30 minutes in advance, honestly, because I just like train vibes and just chill there and just like people. Okay. Second thing you should know is, obviously most of the times in train station there's a lot of people, so someone already presses it for you. But maybe you're stranded in the middle of nowhere and you didn't know that the train automatically opens its door, and you're gonna be like, wait, why is it not opening? So basically there's gonna be a button, you have to press it, and then it opens. And also it also happens when you want to get out of the train, it doesn't open by itself, you gotta press the button and then it opens. Don't worry, like it kind of shows the symbols like open. I kind of pressed the wrong button last time, but it's fine. When you're in the train, this is also something that I did. I almost got a fine. Okay, you're not allowed to sit in the red place unless you did buy a ticket for first class, because the red is for first class and the blue ones are for second class. They're all good, don't worry. Literally, Holland gives the most amazing transportation facilities. Like the trains are clean, the buses are clean. It's literally, so don't worry about that. But if you do not have you didn't order first class, you can't sit there. Even if you see that nobody's there, you really don't know. Like these people who work in the NS, they just like to pop out of nowhere sometimes. Like sometimes they don't come to you at all, and then sometimes when you least expect it, they come. So try to not sit in the first class unless you actually bought a first class thing, because last time a guy literally came to me, which worked from the NS, and said, young lady, can I have your ticket? I didn't know back then. I just thought it was a really comfortable place where people didn't want to sit in. And I almost got a fine for 50 euros, but thankfully I spoke English and he kind of could tell that I did not know at all, and he gave mercy for me. But he said next time. So do not sit on the red chairs. Okay? Moving on. There's multiple trains. There's I don't know what you call it. I'll just call it a train. So in a train, there's multiple trains. This is so bad explanation. Basically, it's like train connected. That's kind of there. And each train has its own like example, train 1 is for first class, train 2 is for silent, and train 3 is for just like normal, you know. And if your train has like a writing on the window silent, you actually have to be silent, because like literally some people would literally get mad at you if you start talking in the silent, obviously because it's mentioned silent, but the first time I went there I didn't know and I got in trouble. So if you're on the silent part of the train, just don't talk, just, or not like whisper. And then the last thing about trains is I advise you to not go to the latest train. Like, what I mean about this is, I remember last year, there was a lot of times where I would go to big cities, and example, I would go to a festival or something, and we would want to go home on the latest train, which is like probably 11:30. I honestly don't know, but before 12 o'clock because in the night, because that's when there's no more trains. This has happened to me so many times that now I really want to tell you guys, please don't, try your best to not go on the latest train, because the latest trains are always the most suspicious ones. Like, they always somehow have issues with them. You know, you could literally be in the train and suddenly they're like, oh, malfunction, and then you would literally be lost in the middle of nowhere. Like, one time I was like stuck in Amsterdam for like hours and I had to sleep over in my friend's house, and one time we were literally stranded in the cold in Tilburg, I think, and also eventually finally we found a train, but that was also after hours of waiting. Like, for you, if you go somewhere far away and you're alone, like, I highly like recommend, please don't go on the latest train, because if you're with someone, you still have someone that you can, you know, go through the experience with. And I'm not saying this always happens, but for me and my friends, this happens 70% of the time if you go on the latest train. Just try to go to at least the third latest or the second latest. Like, the last one is really like, be careful, because if that one doesn't work, you can't go home because that's the latest train. You get what I mean? So yeah, don't do that. It sucks. My legs are literally in pain. I've been sitting so uncomfortably. Anyways, now we're gonna talk about the people. Ow. So the first thing that you're gonna know is, this is just like a funny thing, like what I realized. So here, I don't know how to explain. You're gonna get lots of tickies. How do I explain that? Okay, so for instance, you went to a restaurant with your friends and she just randomly paid it for you, you know? She just randomly paid, and probably you're gonna be like, oh, that's nice, you know? But then you're just gonna get a ticky on your notification, and they're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? What is a ticky, Lizette? It's basically, usually you get sent a ticky through WhatsApp, for instance, and then, how do you, here, I'll show you. You just, basically it's like for you to pay. So when a Dutch person pays something for you, I highly doubt that they're actually paying for you. They're just gonna give you a ticky. So, and you can also do it to them because they're kind of used to it. Everyone tickies everyone here. Like, no mercy. Like, one time I tickied someone like 96 euros. It's fine, you know, they understand. If they need to pay, they will pay. Because, like, Dutch people are really rich, but they're also cheap in the same time. I tried to say that in the most not offensive way possible, but really, they're really kind. Don't worry. They're just, you know that phrase saying, I am rich because I don't spend lots of money? Yeah, basically. Okay, moving on. The second thing is, honestly, I don't really see this a lot. Like, to be honest, like, I did not know that this was a Dutch thing. Until now, because Celeste is really like this, which is not a bad thing. I just tell her sometimes, girl, I'm sensitive, can you not? But people here are really direct. They're not rude, they're just really direct. Like, if they have something in their mind, they will say it to you. Celeste now is kind of used to it because she knows how fucking sensitive I am. Like, I sugarcoat everything. If I want to tell you to go, I would make things like, don't you need to go? It's like late, or probably like, I really need to sleep, you know? But like, Dutch people will be like, hey, can you go? I want to sleep. Like, you get what I mean? Just really like straight, they're just really straight to the point. They're not devils, you know? No, like, Dutch people are literally the most kindest creatures I've ever met. Like, they're so nice. Like, literally whenever you walk anywhere, they just smile at you and they would just help you randomly. So overall, they're really direct, but it's not a negative thing. They just say what's on their mind, and they're just super sweet people who just smile at you 24/7. So yeah. one other thing, I think I already mentioned it previously, they're really good with their time. So either they're really early or they're perfectly on time. So if you come from a country that it's not really on time, try to work with it, because honestly, now I'm a lot better. But me and Svetlana, we used to always like be the latest one who arrives class, and yeah. Okay, so just try to not to do that. Just try to be on time, you know? It's good. Just learn it. It's good for your future anyway. You know, because I feel like in some countries, it's like, oh, come here at 7 o'clock and everyone comes at 7:30. Here, people actually come at 7 o'clock or even earlier sometimes, so. Next thing is, everyone here speaks English. Some of them maybe kind of only can understand, but that's only like 10% or probably maximum 20 for like the old people as well. But mostly, like, everywhere I go, even to like villages, well, okay, that I'm exaggerating, but everywhere, everyone can speak English here. So if you come from a country that you do not know how to speak Dutch at all and you're kind of like, oh shit, what do I do? Don't worry, people can speak English here, so don't worry. I am getting better at Dutch. I can understand it now. Literally, the first time I went to Holland, I did not understand shit. But like now I really do understand Dutch really well. It's a good thing because people can't say things behind my back without me knowing. Back then they could, but now I understand. But speaking, I'm still working on. Okay, last one. See? It's a lot faster. Actually, no, I don't know. Okay, last thing is every city has their own market day. For Zwolle, we have it for Friday and Saturday. A market day is where they sell fresh farmer stuff, you know? I think I've also had it a lot in my video where I go to market days. Like, I'll just show a picture. Basically, they sometimes they sell really good prices. Sometimes it's actually more expensive than like when you buy it in Jumbo and other things like that. But most of the times, it's super nice and fresh and good. And also, like, sometimes in the pastry places, like, you could buy like 4 croissants for €1, and that's pretty good because sometimes in like stores you literally get one croissant for like $1.90. So market days you can get really good prices, but don't always get fooled because sometimes they're a lot more expensive. But honestly, it's just really nice because like everyone really comes together and they sell really nice things. Like they sell stroopwafels and they also nuts and all those really nice things. So when you live somewhere, try to ask people around like when is the market day for my city, because it's really, really nice. I have so much work emails after this. Yay! I actually love my job, don't worry. Okay, last thing before we end this video for today is restaurants are expensive. Honestly, everything in Holland is expensive. Probably not as expensive as Norway or the Scandinavian countries, but it's pretty expensive where I come from, because I come from Indonesia, which is like everything is cheap land, and then you come here and you're like, excuse me? When you look at the restaurant, like, or anything, honestly. Try to bring your own food. When you go to school, when you are hungry, just hold a little bit more because restaurants are really expensive. Not really expensive, like, well, it depends where you are, but just I want you to bear, I just want to let you guys know, goodness gracious, that food outside of home. I'm becoming weird. I need water. But yeah, restaurants are expensive, canteens are also expensive. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope my information about Holland stuff was useful, and I hope it was explanative. I need to read more books, but if this was explained well, I hope you could find this. Guys, I swear, I'm sorry, I need food right now, but you see that? It's like 4, but anyways, I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great day, an amazing day, and I hope all is well. I love you guys so much, and peace out. See you next time. Bye.